Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm here presenting the IQ Journalism project, which is a project co-financed by Greece and the European Union. So as you see, we're talking about an intelligent advisor called IQ Journalism. So what is this project? It's basically an intelligent advisor for journalists in order to guide them on the expected quality and engagement of their articles. We use AI and machine learning methodologies to create real-time recommendations for journalists. And these recommendations have to do with the language quality, the subjectivity level, the emotionality, etc. So the issues we're trying to address with this project are, the changes in the media landscape due to social media, because now there is an absence of clear guidelines on what is decent online news, really. And there's an emphasis on audience engagement, so clickbait techniques are used in the media production. So our goal here is to enhance article quality while discouraging clickbait techniques, but also achieving audience engagement as well. So this is how we envision this system, the IQ journalism system. We will see more on this first prototype that we have created. So in order to design this system, we use a user-centered iterative design approach. In the beginning, we did the state-of-the-art research on online editors and writing assistants like Grammarly, for example, which is a very well-known one. And we created the first design prototype, which was created via Droio. And this was presented on a focus group with 10 master students. We used this feedback to further refine the prototype and create an interactive prototype. So this prototype was tested on a desirability study, which I will talk about, with 20 participants. And the goal is to further refine this system and come up with a functional system. So here we see the prototype. This is what the journalist will see while editing the article. On the right side, we have the IQ mode on, which is the intelligent advisor. And this advisor gives us a performance score. And later it gives certain improvements and scores, which the journalists can use to improve their texts. And on the left side, we have some actions like downloading the article, signing out, etc. This is the set article preferences tab, where the journalist can, choose what genre this article will be, where it will be published, which medium, the length of the article, etc., which also, affect the advisor's comments. Here is the journalist dashboard, where the journalist can do file management activities and see all the articles that they're working on. So we used this prototype on a user study, a moderated desirability and light usability study, which ran for 2 weeks in May. And this study had 20 participants, which were master students, 18 female, 2 male. The ages ranging from 20 to 35 years of age, and 4.7 average years of experience as article authors. The participants were presented with the interactive prototype, and they were asked to complete 3 tasks and provide their feedback via the Think Aloud protocol and Google form, which had a variety of evaluation methods and research questions. And the researchers timed the sessions and were there to provide any assistance. Yes. These are the study hypotheses that we had. We had 5 hypotheses. The first one had to do with the user experience. We wanted a strong positive user experience. The second one was that the SUS score, the system usability score, was higher than the standard average. The third one was about the net promoter score. We wanted a score over 30. The fourth one was about the overall satisfaction, for which we used 4 items. And the fifth hypothesis was about the task performance. And we wanted the majority of the participants to complete the tasks without assistance from the researchers. Here you can see on a table which evaluation method we used for each hypothesis. Very all together. So concerning the first hypothesis, that's it. We used the short version of the user experience questionnaire with 8 items, which is a set of questions with contrasting attributes. The 4 items concern the pragmatic quality, the other 4 the hedonic quality. And as you can see here, we had scores of 1.81 for the pragmatic quality, which is classified as excellent. The hedonic quality, we had 1.12, which is classified as above average. And for the overall user experience, we had 1.47, classified as good. For the user experience, we also used product reaction cards, a set of 25 words, and the participants had to choose 5 attributes. We had favorable results here. The 80% of the users described the systems as easy to use, 70% as friendly, 55% as clean, and very few people chose negative attributes, as you can see on the graph. So we can accept the first hypothesis with these results. Moving on to the second hypothesis about the SUS score, we managed to achieve an above the threshold score, 82.5, which is grade 2 excellent rating. And regarding the net promoter score, we also had a good score of 40, which is considered a great rating with high likelihood of recommending the system. And this is used, to calculate the loyalty of the audience, and is often linked with revenue. Yes. So we can accept the second hypothesis and the third hypothesis. Moving on to the fourth hypothesis about the overall satisfaction. As I said, we used 4 items, 4 questions, and the goal was to achieve the central tendency towards the top values of the 7-point scale. So we achieved these results. 95% of the participants agreed that the system was easy to use. 85% can self-reflect and get a good understanding of their performance. 90% are overall satisfied with the prototype. And 85% stated they do not feel uncomfortable or emotionally loaded when interacting with the prototype. Here you can see the specific questions and the answers on the scales. The last question is a negative one, so we expected a tendency towards the bottom values. So we can accept the fourth hypothesis as well. And moving on now to the task performance. As I said, we had 3 tasks for the users to complete. These were, the first task was to create an article and upload an article and see the perceived quality score. The second task was to edit the preferences and see how this affects the scores and the improvements by the advisor. And the third task was to edit the article in order to improve the language quality, download the article and sign out. So for these 3 tasks, we had 3 metrics: success with assistant, if the researcher provided assistance, the completion time, and open-ended feedback by the participants. So we noticed that the group A, which was the one that received no significant assistance, was significantly faster and more effective than group B, which was the group that received assistance by the researchers. So with this, we can accept also the fifth hypothesis. And here I have some important feedback that we received from the users on the open-ended questions. Some positive remarks were that this advisor would be very useful for junior editors looking to improve their work, that it was a user-friendly interface, and it had great color correction, and the word counter feature was a nice addition. We received also some negative comments, like that the design was a bit outdated, there was an absence of tracking for the changes, and some suggestions by the users were to have keyword generation for SEO, synonym recommendations, visual recommendations, spelling, grammar, syntax on, and reading time indicator. And some said that we could have this as an add-on for Word or WordPress. I tried to be fast. So here we have the closing remarks, which is that in generally we had a positive user experience. So we can accept the first version of this interactive prototype of the IQ journalism system. We had some significant areas for improvement that we received from the user feedback, and which we will use to further refine the prototypes and reach a functional version of the system. And here you can also see the acknowledgement for the project. Yes, thank you very much. I think I was on time.
Thank you, Irene. Any questions?
Yes.
Thank you, Irene. This is a research project, so I suppose it goes on for some time now.
Yes.
And when you started, ChatGPT and large language models were not around. Now, if you ask ChatGPT, give an argument like the balloon floating over and ask it to give you a recommendation for a journalistic style, and you probably have done this since you are in this area, you will see that it really adapts and it's very, very good for that. It's
yes.
one of the, does other things not so well, but this kind of thing, it does it well. So the first question is, how do you adapt your research after this really landslide of technology, which has fallen all over us? I mean, this will obviously affect you. And the second question is, I mean, these kind of tools, I have a feeling it's not so important the form and function, more the content. Content is very important. So I was surprised that you were more into the discussion of usability issues, which are okay, they're important, but not the prime consideration. Not so much on the actual recommendations and the actual feedback they got. So that needs perhaps more qualitative kind of research instead of doing usability study. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. What I didn't say actually is that this whole tool and project is designed for Greek journalists. So what is innovative about this project is that we're trying to create this advisor for the Greek language, which the ChatGPT is not yet so good with. So, and we annotated the articles. So it has the quality of the articles. We try to have the human factor for the quality, let's say. And the model is trained on this data. So I guess that is our difference from ChatGPT and these technologies. And as for the other question, as you said, it's a research project that it is in progress. So this was an initial survey on the usability of the system, but we will have further research and studies on the content and what the journalists want in more detail. We haven't yet created the system, so we have a long way to go. Thank you. I don't know if anyone wants to add something from the colleagues.
That's okay.
it's fun because I'm a colleague of Irene and I work mostly for the AI and machine learning behind it. The key idea for this is that the system is trained on 10 million Greek articles. So we use supervised machine learning, and the idea behind this is that we have two things that we care about. The one is the quality of the actual article, and the other one is the engagement. So we have two models, under the hood, trained on all this data from Greek Facebook, Greek Twitter, and Instagram. So that's something that ChatGPT doesn't have yet. It might be, if you just, take ChatGPT and you use all the data that we've used with the actual social media engagement metrics, then you can, of course, come up with something like IQ journalism. But in general, we are, confident that in the Greek landscape, we're good to go for like 5 years, for 5 years to come. After that, we might, as well implement ChatGPT to the model. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you all.